Good morning, everyone. Welcome to F-150 Studios, coming at you in beautiful Starbucks, California. It's a rainy day here today, Wednesday, the 10th of March, 2021. And I wanted to talk today about the myth of police hunting blacks, singling out blacks, excessive enforcement in black communities, etc. So, for those of you who don't know, which is pretty well almost all of you, I think, because I've never mentioned it before, I was a law enforcement officer for nearly 4 decades. And during that time, I patrolled, generally very diverse communities. So, uh, but there was an interesting phenomenon when dealing with black people. And it was very often that you would be accused of just messing with them because they're black. Now, I used to think that this was just a lame excuse that they got so used to throwing out that when my black self rolled up and told them to stop doing what they were doing, they would just throw that out reflexively. Driving while black. We were driving and we got stopped by the police. Had nothing to do with the fact that you're driving 65 miles an hour through a residential area in a school district, a school zone, and throwing fast food trash out the window. No, it's because we're black. You're just messing with us because we're black. It has nothing to do with the fact that you all are having a fist fight with each other outside the intensive care unit of the hospital where your gangbanger buddy is basically waiting for just dying. He's on life support. Family are going to have to call it quits after an incident in which he was stabbed 10 times and shot twice. No white police officer around. I'll bet he wished there'd been one. But yeah, nothing to do with that. And eventually, I developed an alternative thesis, which is, and I think it jibes more with reality. If you take in the sum of behaviors within the black community that are causing the problems within the black community that their white liberal enablers are, always screaming systemic racism, um, and that is a rejection of white values, what are perceived as white values, deferred gratification, respect for others, literacy, maternity within the bounds of wedlock. All of this stuff is perceived as being white. And so it's rejected because white values are oppressive, because they've been lectured so often that white values are oppressive. Now, excuse me, this started, and I've been around for a while. This kind of started with the Great Society, Lyndon Johnson's welfare state. Not kind of started, did. After World War II, the percentage of black families that were intact was actually higher than those of white families. You had a black middle class that was growing very strongly. I mean, my family were part of it. My father was one of the first black air traffic controllers at Chicago O'Hare. Um, so you have this shift in mindset, and there was always a bit of a tension within the black community between the entrepreneurialism of Booker T. Washington and the Marxism of W.E.B. Du Bois. And along came Lyndon Johnson and said, you know, what would you like? We'll give you whatever you wish. And Du Bois basically won out. Uh, so now, here in 2021, something around 73% of black kids are born out of wedlock. Now, unwed maternity is the most significant predictor across ethnic groups for every social pathology. crime, mental illness, poverty, childhood physical and sexual abuse. And blacks commit 52%, more than half of the nation's criminal homicide. You know, 14% of the population, even less, because it's black males between 16 and 40 who really account for that number. Um, 75% of all violent crime, and most of the victims are black. Uh, but again, you've got the whites who are attempting to use blacks, basically keep us enslaved in order to advance their own socialist agenda. And so they'll talk about how, oh, the communities of color are over policed and blah, blah. Well, the police are there because when you come right down to it, the only people who believe Black Lives Matter are American police officers who go into black communities every day to try to stop people from killing each other. I didn't come up with that phrase. I was a black police chief. I can't think of his name right now, but it's very true. But if you take a look at it, yes, 52% of the homicides, 75% of all violent crime, blacks black males between the ages of 60 and 40. If there's a man in the home who is not the biological father, the risk of childhood physical and sexual abuse goes up 30 times. That's 30 times, not 30%, 30 times, 3,000%. So is it a wonder that half of black girls report having been sexually abused, mostly by their unwed black mothers, black boyfriends, by the time they're 18? The literacy rate in the black community, stunningly low. 20% of black school kids are grade level proficient in reading. The number drops when you get into the big inner cities run by Democrats and frequently black Democrats. So this rejection, this militantly anti-intellectual, self-indulgent and thuggish behavior. Oh, I should have mentioned when it comes to unwed maternity, it's like 73% of the black babies who are born at all, because more than 60% of them are aborted. And again, it's this mentality of self-indulgence that prevails so heavily. So yeah, when you look at it, the problems in the black community are for the black community to solve. It's not systemic racism to require that somebody be able to read to be the CEO of a corporation. It's not racism, as Bill Gates claims, to demand the correct answer to a mathematical problem from an engineer. You know, to think that a pilot should be able accurately to calculate fuel burn on a cross-country trip. Um, the right answer is important sometime. But Bill Gates says that the emphasis on right answers in math is racist. Probably explains Microsoft Windows. Um, so I just wanted to throw that out there. That this attitude of the didn't do nothing, you know, the police just messing with us because we're black. Again, there are behaviors that draw police attention, and those behaviors are why these people are why people are being messed with. It's because they're having a fist fight in the hospital, because they're driving recklessly through a school zone and throwing fast food wrappers out the windows. These aren't hypotheticals; these are actual ones I've been involved with. And again, my black self shows up and you're just messing with us because we're black. So it's that rejection of the values that they genuinely believe. And they're encouraged to believe. Black Lives Matter is basically built on encouraging them to believe that they have a right to assault people, to kill people, and if that person fights back, it's racist. So it's that attitude that rejects the white values that leads to their perception that when their behavior is being interfered with and they're being told to comport themselves to the law, which again is white values, that it's racist. And that is what the liberal left and the black race hustlers, I don't want to name names, Attorney Ben Crump over on Twitter, but uh, that they're the ones, that's the attitude that they're attempting to foster, again, for political ends that do not advance the black community. In fact, they work only to the detriment of the black community. So that's all I have for today. This has been kind of a long-winded one, but it's a lengthy topic, and I thought I'd share it with you. So thanks for listening. Everybody have a good day. I'm on my weekend now. Just got off work at 7 o'clock this morning, and going to try to work on some other projects. Maybe uh, edit some of my photographs from Vietnam in 2019, Vietnam and Thailand, and get those published in the book that I've been planning to do for a while. Take care.